Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Sherri.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
I'm doing really good because I pressed record. We just stopped halfway through a story because we weren't on YouTube. So we're trying to bring y'all all the things, and here we are for the second time. So I need to tell the folks that we have two new Patreon listeners, Amy F. and Amanda L. Thank y'all so much. And if you want to support the show like Amy and Amanda, go to Patreon/grits and help support the show. I am going to real quick give a local business, if I can find it. I had it pulled up on my, this is just par for the course right now. Okay, so we're going to talk about lanyap coding. Medical coding.
Oh, okay.
They are actually, I believe, in North Louisiana. It doesn't really matter where because you can learn medical coding and billing online at your own pace. It's open enrollment. You can start anytime you want. Materials are included. Tutoring available at no extra cost. No deadlines, no due dates. Designed for the working adult.
Awesome.
So if you're looking to get into medical billing and coding, check out Lanyap Medical Coding Academy. Let me spell Lanyap for y'all. You don't have to be from Louisiana to use this service. Lagniappe. That's Lanyap Medical Coding Academy. Website, lanyapmedicalcoding.com. And if you want to call or text, 318-242-1721. And their motto is giving a little extra to tomorrow's medical professionals.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really cool. Affordable program with options available. Everything you need to prepare you for a career. Contact by phone, text, or email.
And see, I believe in entering the workforce and then figuring out what you want to do before you go and dump $100,000 into college.
Yeah. It is a lot better when you're out there working and you know what you don't want to do. Like, it helps you figure out what you don't want to do.
If I had done what I started school for, I would have ended up in a lab. Could you see me stuck in a room by myself?
No, you're too much of a people person.
Yeah, I mean, I do like to go hide from them, but
that's what the restroom's for. Okay, you're telling the story today.
I sure am.
And hit it.
All right. So this is a Thanksgiving story as requested, and it's going to make you feel a lot better about your family. And it goes all the way back to 2004. The Facebook premieres, and that's what it's called. So when your mom and daddy call it the Facebook, get off of the Facebook. That was the original name.
The Ohio State.
Uh-huh. Napoleon Dynamite came out, which made Tater Tots make a comeback.
Jordan, what did he say?
Can you say it?
Those are my tots, dude.
Those are my tots, dude.
You can't have my tots.
You can't have my tots. They're mine.
Martha Stewart went to jail.
Yep.
Because she knew too many rich people that told her where to invest.
But you know what? She's made a comeback for herself with Snoop Dogg. So
yeah,
whatever.
And I think she's done more jail time than Snoop has.
Probably.
Number one horror movie, Saw.
Great movie. And I told you previously when we thought we were recording this, let me just double check. We are recording. I told you previously that you need to watch it because it's not, it's very good. It's very good. It's very gory. If you haven't watched it, I think we're all the way up to Saw 10 this year. Would that even be possible? 2004? Yeah.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely would be.
Well,
so you need to check it out.
I will. Okay. Number one song in the time frame that this happened, the weeks this happened, was My Boo with Alicia Keys and Usher.
There you go. My boo.
All right. And so we are going to go to Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, no. Fine Southern folks.
And these are fine Southern folks. There's everything about them is fine Southern folks.
Oh.
We got Charlotte and Winston Springford, and he goes by Brent.
Oh, I was going to say, let me guess what he goes by. And his son.
Eventually, when the son is born, he will also be a Brent.
Okay.
Okay, so Charlotte she grew up in a very wealthy Southern household. Her family owned a factory. Her daddy took over this soft drink distributor whenever he come back from World War II.
Wow. We do like our Cokes in the South.
Yes, we do.
We call all soda Coke.
Yeah.
I know.
And this one was eventually became a Pepsi distributor as time marched on, because this factory's been in production for a very, very long time.
Gotcha.
Okay. She was a great student, straight A's, was a sorority girl, got her master's from the University of Alabama, and went on to work in Washington for a senator as an aide. Very prestigious.
She did all the things.
All the things. Wearing a cardigan and pearls. Okay, and so Brent, likewise, was a very good student. He was an engineer. He belonged to several societies for engineers, and he was a lieutenant in the Air Force. And those two things led him to work for the Department of Defense in D.C.
Wow. These are two people who have their shit together.
So together.
And about what time? This isn't 2004 at this point.
No, this is in the
like
60s.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay. Okay, so they fell in love, got married, and their wedding was posted in society pages with descriptions of her dress and accessories.
Oh my gosh.
Meticulously logged in the papers.
They were super rich.
Super rich.
Uber rich.
Super connected. Because even Trump is super rich, but he's not society.
Nope, you're right.
Okay, so this couple moves to New York. He starts working for the Corning Glass Company. That's a very big deal, especially at the time.
Corningware was super big back then.
I probably, I collect it.
Really?
And my collections are just from this era, from like 1965 to about 1973.
So let me ask you, the Corningware plates, the white plates with like the green flowery.
That's what I grew up with.
That's what I grew up with. I remember it was like next to impossible to break those plates.
See, and I started going back to Corningware after Hurricane Rita and Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Because I was using all these fun plates.
But they will stand the test of time like a good Coach purse.
Right. I saw all of these people out there. Their house is gone. Like it's blown
they're
off.
They're
washing their Corningware off with a water hose. And I'd been struggling with chipped plates for years. And I was like, screw it. Went and grabbed every plate in my cabinet.
Yep.
Brought it to the Goodwill. Went and bought 2 sets of white Corningware. It's up and it's still alive. And we've only broke like 5 pieces in all these years.
Perfect.
And no, we didn't break 5 pieces. 5 pieces are gone. 3 of them got left at jobs. We only broke 2 pieces.
Well, this man knew what he was doing. When he got into Corningware.
Yeah. And so he's doing great. They're doing great. They're living in New York. Life is beautiful. And they decided to take a trip to Mexico, just a little couple's trip, and brought the baby home to stay with Charlotte's mom and daddy in Montgomery.
Okay.
In 1972. There was a fire, unfortunately, while Charlotte and her husband were in Mexico.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Charlotte's sister was still living at home because she was still young enough. She was helping mom and dad with the baby. She wakes up in the middle of the night, sees the house on fire. By the time she gets out of the house, she's too injured to help anybody else.
Wow.
And so mom, dad, and baby Stephanie pass away of smoke inhalation. Yeah.
Well, at least they weren't burned alive.
Which is, it would have to soothe their hearts.
Yeah.
That there was no pain in their death.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lois was hurt enough that she had to have a leg amputated.
Oh, serious fire.
Serious fire, serious injuries. And that, I would say, yeah, she couldn't do anything except for lay there and scream after she Well, this left this huge business with nobody to run it. And there's workers that rely on getting paid, rely on things moving forward. So Brent quits his job, and he and Charlotte move to Alabama, and they take over the family business.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Stand-up guy, right?
Yeah. They both sound like complete, just awesome, trying to do everything they can in life to better themselves and their
everything
family.
about them looks like that. And you know, I can find out your shoe size in 3rd grade if I get on it enough. I couldn't find anybody that hated them. And he's a boss, and I couldn't find anybody that hated him.
Wow.
They made a scrubbed, because I do know I have a friend who's very wealthy, and every time his kid puts something stupid on social media, he pays a lawyer to scrub it.
Oh my gosh.
So rich people can scrub their...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. All right.
So Charlotte is very active in Montgomery politics. She was setting up mental health facilities in the 80s when nobody cared if you were sane or not.
That's amazing.
She wrote for the local paper, and she worked for the University of Alabama as both a teacher on occasion. She didn't have a PhD, so I don't think she could be a full professor.
Yeah.
But she had a master's.
She definitely could sub.
Yeah. So she worked in the communications department, and she was on the board of visitors for the communications college at the University of Alabama.
She's just all around amazing person.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she was kind of pretty, and she had that kind of look like I can get crap done.
Okay. Boss bitch.
Yeah. And Brent ran the company, and he had a best friend that worked. I don't know if his best friend's main job was working with Brent, but Jerry's job was working with Brent.
Gotcha.
There. He had other jobs too, which will come into play.
Okay. Jerry. Okay.
Armstrong, I'm pretty sure.
Got it.
All right. So they went on to have 2 more children, have gotten over grieving for Stephanie, which was weird because they always referred to them as the parents of 2 children. It's like the newspaper forgot they had this other child.
Wow.
Yeah. So Brent Jr., which will never be called Brent Jr. again, we're going to call him BJ at least, but other times there's going to be some
Douche canoe.
There's going to be some other insults that get,
Yeah.
you know.
I can't wait. I'll think of something to insult. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
something.
good one.
I'll think of something.
All right. And then Robin, okay, so Brent was 1974. Robin, we don't know when. And I think she likes it that way. So we don't know if she's younger or older than him. And there's a thing about Southern ladies. You don't need to know how old I am.
I was just about to say, Southern women hold their age close to their vest.
Yeah. Even if it is pretty much known. Like, you know that she was born sometime between, say, 71. She's got to be younger. Because Stephanie died in 72.
Right, yeah. She had to be born
and Brent
well
was
after
born
that.
In 74.
Yeah.
So she's got to be younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and so you can imagine Mom and Dad are just thrilled to be blessed with these two kids. And they have this wonderful life.
Do you think that they felt like any grief in terms of guilt? Like, that's what I meant to say. Any guilt, not grief. No, they had grief. Because they left their daughter with the grandparents and she died?
Absolutely. And I think we're going to see that in Brent Jr.'s life.
All right.
BJ. Puss Bucket Jr. We're going to see that.
Devil's Taint.
Oh, like that one. That's a good one. All right. So their life was wonderful. They had this huge Greek revival house in the Garden District of Montgomery. It's on the historical register. They are involved in all these social clubs.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't do social clubs. I don't think any of my clubs are considered social clubs.
You do the podcast. It's kind of social.
I do the podcast. I do some political things. So I don't think that's...
No, that's not really
the
social.
Same. No. Okay. And so during the holidays, around Christmas time, they did this big black tie event that gets written up in the society columns.
A ball.
A ball.
Everybody who is anybody got invited to it.
Absolutely.
Tuxedos,
Yeah.
ball gowns.
And could you imagine even wanting to own a home that everybody in the world could
Nope.
look up and see pictures of?
I couldn't imagine having to buy a fancy dress and squeeze my fat ass into it every year for a ball.
I'm telling you. Nope. It is cheap wine, bonfire, leggings, and an ugly sweater.
There you go.
That's a good Christmas party.
That's a good Christmas party. I like it.
Okay. So, BJ, douche canoe,
Brent Jr.
Brent Jr., he goes on to Vandy.
Okay.
And for people not familiar with the SEC, Vandy is the Harvard of the South.
I was going to say, isn't it a private school? Is
It is,
Vanderbilt?
yes, and it's a very prestigious university.
There you go. She's putting her best Southern voice on for y'all with that.
Yeah, everybody.
Blanche Devereaux.
Yeah, it is. It is where you go if you've got a lot of extra money
Yeah. So they send him
and
to
a last name that matters.
Vandy.
He goes to Vandy, and he's doing all the right things still. I mean, he was great in school, great for the first couple of years of college. He is doing these community, like, other people have referred to it as mission trips, but mission trips are kind of specific to churches. He's going to do the community help in
Almost
lower
like Peace
income.
Corps.
Yeah,
Almost like Peace Corps type work.
but I'm sure that they are connected to his frat because he is a frat boy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Then he turns 20 and drops out of Vandy.
Oh, that was quick. What'd you say, Jordan?
Then he goes full retard.
Then you go.
Okay, Jordan knows a little bit ahead because we had to back up. Okay, so, and then he decided he was going to visit a butt ton of monasteries around the U.S. and Mexico because he's decided he's Buddhist.
He's Buddhist.
Which, if you were just going off to do your own things and thumb your nose at your parent and you're doing it on your own dime, that's one thing.
But he's on their dime.
He's on their dime. They are funding this for him.
So private school, I'm dropping out. I'm going to go find myself in the Buddha monasteries.
Yes.
And y'all pay me.
Yeah, for a couple of years.
Pay my way.
Yeah.
For a couple of years.
Yeah, and then he hears that over...
My parents would have been like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, at most, I'd have been like, you got summer vacation for that. And you better be washing dishes on the side. I will pay your transport.
You better be working at Sonic on roller skates or something.
Mm-hmm. Made all our kids get a job, even if they didn't have to, even if they weren't doing anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest one had a bank account flat full of money, never spent a nickel of it. Whenever he went in the Navy, though, he had a savings account.
There you go.
Okay, so then he goes to Oberlin College in Ohio to major in religious studies. This alone is a problem because he didn't go to an SEC school.
The Ohio State.
Mm.
You know
And
how
he
I feel
didn't-
about it.
Yeah. And he didn't go to Ohio. He went to Oberlin. Okay, Ohio State would have still been
At least respectable.
somewhat,
But
still.
not a little tiny community college that he lasted how long?
1 week.
Wow. He didn't even get past orientation, basically.
No, he didn't get a single grade. Back then, I am not sure if he could have even gotten all of his books
In a week.
in a week.
Yeah.
Because I know whenever
He
I
didn't
went
even,
to college,
all of
in
his
the-
classes were W's. Withdraw.
yeah, and I wouldn't have been to all of my classes yet in 1 week.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because some of my classes happened every other Tuesday. There would be this huge lecture class
Right.
that connected to another class.
So
back then.
he wasn't even okay. So what did he do after that? What did shit show do after that?
He went on to Colorado to go to Naropa University in Boulder. I don't
All
even
right.
know.
Doesn't ring a bell for me.
And I mean, I know schools.
Colorado's pretty though.
Colorado is pretty, but I don't think
so pretty.
any. Like, I mean, I like sports and I like science, so I know a lot of schools in this
Yeah.
country because I'm reading the papers that come out on one side and I'm watching
football
football,
on the other
baseball
side.
on the
Yeah.
other side. Screw basketball. I'm a tall girl. I don't like it. But football, baseball, every day, every day.
There you go.
Okay. So when he's in Boulder, he is focusing on Buddhist studies because you can get a job with that.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And he meets this chick named Carolyn Scout. She's 24 years older than him, had 3 kids, and claimed to be the abandoned child of an Apache medicine woman. Supposedly the last Apache medicine woman.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh-huh.
This bitch here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because you met that girl that thinks that she's
all the things.
Super spiritual.
No, so he's like 22 maybe, and she's like 24 years older than him.
So she's like 46 when they meet.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
I had 22-year-olds flirting with me when I was 46. And all I could think of was, I am not
retraining. I'm not retraining another one. No, I'm not training.
What do you want me to do? Wipe your nose, feed you a peanut butter and jelly, and send you back to mama? I'm done.
I'm not training. So he is connecting with her on a spiritual level because she's the last of the Mohicans or whatever the fuck
or whatever she says she is.
Okay.
And these two decided that she is his spirit guide. That the fates have combined to put her in his path so that she could lead him to his destiny.
Oh, she's mentoring him. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And at this time, mom and dad are not just paying for schools. They're paying for the apartment. They're sending him $800 to $900 a month, which is about $1,314 to $1,450 in today's money.
So rent, utilities.
He has a credit card they pay.
Credit card, cash.
Car and furniture.
Okay.
So mom and daddy go visit him. They're going to a freaking powwow to watch this crap.
Ma, Dad, I want you to meet my lady. We got to go to a powwow. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on into Boulder. That's where he's at, right?
Yeah. Okay. And she is literally almost their age.
Right. Yeah, because, her kids are like almost his age, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's just, I think, like 5 years younger than mom and dad.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So he has what they called a bit of a breakdown. But the main source on all of this was a guy whose sister-in-law was trying to save this kid from the death penalty. And so he's a little bent that way.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't sound like a breakdown to me. It sounded like he was being an asshole.
Well,
he was talking too loud. He was interrupting the elders. He was...
he didn't
showing his butt.
He didn't know his powwow etiquette.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
I mean, and maybe other crap happened and they left it out, but they were trying to make him sound so pitiful. I doubt they left something out.
So he has a breakdown, but he's really just an asshole. But everybody calls it a breakdown because rich people got to call it something that's not just being an asshole.
I guess.
And what happens to him then?
So then they convince him to go get some help. And he gets diagnosed with bipolar 1.
Okay.
Do not get me wrong. Bipolar 1 is a serious issue.
But you need to be on some medication, son.
Yes, you need medication. You need therapy.
Yep.
And this is the biggest thing. You need to know that you may not be reacting the way you should. So shut up, back up, take stock. Before you hurt the people around you.
Yes.
That's the best point of a diagnosis, so that you know you ain't right.
Exactly. And we've talked about this so many times on the podcast. When people have mental health issues and get on their medication and they feel awesome, and then they just stop taking their medication. Yeah. So hopefully he doesn't do that, but I'm kind of feeling like he might. Proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So Brent and Charlotte being the fantastic parents that they are, and they really are. They're really trying with everything.
They're having some guilt.
And you have to realize that, like, Brent's just a little younger than us. So
Yeah.
think about what they have done for their child is way ahead of what other boomers did for their kids.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
They
you were
have been
getting
more
your
accepting.
you're
more,
getting your ass whipped and shit. Not any of this
yeah,
kumbaya shit.
the day we turned 18 was the last day they fed us.
That's right.
It's like, all right, bye-bye, young.
Yeah.
Okay, so they buy Brent a $400,000 house near Boulder, Colorado.
Oh.
Because Boulder was the city that was in this region he was kind of bouncing around in with Wyoming and South Dakota and Colorado.
And powwows.
Boulder was the city with the best medical
I'm
care.
assuming Caroline's still with him through all this.
In fact, Mom and Dad hired Caroline to be his care provider.
You're shitting me.
I am not. And on
So
one
all the
hand, that
money-
looks really stupid. But on the other hand, if that's the only person he's listening to,
Yeah. But all this money they've been forking out for everything else, and now they're giving more money so she can take care of him.
yes, they are paying her a salary.
Okay.
And
I'm getting very fidgety about this whole
oh yeah,
situation.
and then her and her kids move into the $400,000 home. They have access to the vehicles. Mom and Dad are showering them with some gifts too.
Wow.
Mom and Dad send Christmas gifts to her kids. They provide college education for her kids.
Wow.
Keep in mind, their son is in his 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the same age as their kids. And he quits. Brent, BJ, Puss Bucket. He is, he quits talking to Mom and Dad except for by fax. No phone calls, no text. Emailing was a pretty normal thing in 2004.
Yeah. Facts.
Fax.
Wow.
So only by fax, not even by snail mail.
And is he like faxing from the house? What is he going to Kinko's down the road? How is he faxing to him?
He must have had to go to Kinko's down the road because what we later learn is that Brent's not even living in that house.
Just her and her kids? What's
Just
her name? Caroline?
And the kids are living in the house. Brent has now become an oil field worker.
Man. Well, he must be taking his medication if he's working.
And he's sleeping in his truck
Wow.
at the oil fields.
Where's he bathing at?
Can you imagine? Because he's at best a couple of times a week he can run to a
A
truck.
Stuckey's?
Yeah, well, it could be a Stuckey's, but to a truck stop in town.
Take
and
a whore bath in the sink.
Well, they get the trucker showers.
Yeah.
Which are kind of, I imagine those things have to be like powerful jet showers because.
Yeah. Well, I hear today that those places are very nice.
Yeah.
Because I know someone who drives a truck now, and apparently they're super, super nice. But I doubt in whatever year this was, they were super nice.
It wasn't that far ago. It was just 2004.
Yeah, but that's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. But even
Truck
back
stops
then,
can make a lot of progress in 20 years. Look
yeah.
at Buc-ee's, even though it's not a truck. Oh, I'm wearing a Buc-ee shirt today.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, let's see if I can.
Sorry.
Buc-ee's. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so in either 1999 or 2000, he shows up to Mom and Dad's Christmas gala.
I hope he showered first.
Well, he
What's he
shaved his
wearing?
head
Oh, he shaved his head.
and wrapped up in a monk's robe
Nice. Jordan's laughing.
to, because he's getting so learned with his Native American
Religion?
I,
History?
none of this.
What is it?
None of this makes logical sense.
Native American, and then now he's Buddhist again. And
I don't know how he makes it.
so
it
what
work.
did Mom and Dad do when he showed up at the gala?
Well, they kind of flipped out, but they can't do anything. I mean, you got
you can't make a scene.
No.
Not with all the Southern royalty that's there.
No, imagine they just kept asking him, honey, could you go get me something out of the kitchen?
Yeah.
Can you go check on the help? Okay. So Carolyn's
Here's
being
$100 bill. Just go sit in the bathroom for a while.
So Carolyn is being sent huge checks for her salary
Yeah.
and any maintenance at the property.
And he's not at the house and they don't know this.
He is sending her his allowance from the parents and part of his oil money checks.
And
she's living there by herself. None of that's going to Brent.
yeah, well,
Yeah, she's just living high on the
he's
hog.
completely brainwashed by her.
Yeah, and he was kind of easy to brainwash because he is overly respectful and loving to everybody but his parents.
That sucks.
That's what I think makes me so mad about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he, over and over again, you hear these stories about him giving the shirt off his back and everything, but it wasn't his shirt to give.
No.
Mom and Daddy put that
Yeah.
on your back.
Yeah. Mom and Dad got that Gucci shirt on you.
And you
now
just shit on them and walked away over and over and over again.
So, what? I got to know about this ball some more.
I've seen a picture of him and he looked like, it looked like a Halloween costume. It did not, it was horrible.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But at least he's home.
Like he put a couple of fall colored bed sheets and wrapped them around himself and shaved his head.
A really bad toga party.
Yeah, with a buzzer razor.
Oh.
He didn't like have the full smoothness.
Oh,
It
no,
was-
baby.
It was
no.
like I had to go spend a month in jail haircut. It was bad. Okay. So all of this is going on. Carolyn's getting rich. He's kind of getting worse and worse because one of the things that's happening is Carolyn has started taking him to alternative healers.
Well, and if he's not living with her in the house, she's really not quote unquote a caretaker because she's not making him bathe or brush his teeth.
But since there's so little contact, parents had no clue.
Yeah.
Well, he gets in a wreck because he's sleeping in his truck and he was too tired to drive and fell asleep and ran off the road.
Oh no.
Loses his oil field job, comes back to Boulder. Carolyn gets him in to see some alternative healers, and they're telling him, no, you're not bipolar.
Oh God.
You have heavy metal poisoning.
Oh, let's put these things on the bottom of your feet so when you sleep it'll draw
It'll draw it
all
out.
it-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Dad starts getting
Bills for
bills, huge bills. Okay, I've done some alternative healing,
I have to.
and it's like 200 here, 200 there, 300 here, 300 there.
Wait, how much are these bills he's getting?
$15,000.
Oh my God.
And he had no problem paying $15,000
Because he thought his son was getting help.
but these bills weren't itemized. This guy is a CEO of a major corporation. He doesn't pay stuff.
Just one line. BJ.
Pay to the order of 15.
BJ's care. 15,000.
Right. And so he was like, okay, this ain't right. Well, Mom's getting suspicious too.
Okay, hello, McFly. They should have woke up a long time ago, but
Well-
I'm not trying to be mad at them. They're trying to help.
Yeah. And they're from an era where you couldn't find out information that was that far away.
Yeah, fuck, they were rich though. Get in the car, get in a plane, go.
Well, Mama started figuring some shit out.
Good for Mama, because
'Cause she's like,
other
"Something's-"
mamas will be nosy.
Oh, yeah. She thinks something's fishy about this whole situation with him and Carolyn. And so she checks Colorado, no marriage license. She checks, what's the other one? What's above? Wyoming.
I don't know my.
No marriage
I'm
license.
geographically.
And she was
challenged.
like, huh. And then I think she checked South, and then she checked Nevada. She found one in South Dakota. They had secretly gotten married and hid it from her.
If he is married to this woman, he needs to be living at the house, not in his truck. She is just taking 1,000% advantage of the situation.
So she married him when he was 24 and she was 48.
Nice.
Hey, Jordan, you been lusting after 50-year-old women out there in the world?
He's shaking his head
No.
vehemently.
That's
no.
not normal.
No, you're right.
I mean, I'm not saying that we're not okay and we still don't have stuff to offer,
No,
but I don't want a 24-year-old.
I don't want to train another man.
I don't want another half man.
No,
You're almost there, but you're not quite there.
no.
Okay, so At this point, Dad calls and he's kind of like, dude, you hurt your mom. I'm getting these bills. I'm tired of paying them. I don't know what's going on. And if I don't start getting some transparency, I'm selling the house and you're on your own.
And did that give him a wake-up call?
It did. It did. And then he got banned from Sister's wedding in October.
Okay.
Of 2004.
So this is right before, 2004 is when you said the story takes place. And you said it was a Thanksgiving story.
It is a Thanksgiving story.
So we're
right up on it. Right up on it.
Here we go.
All right. So Brent and Charlotte are having some work done on the home. And I'm pretty sure it's under a tight deadline because this is Thanksgiving and they have that huge Christmas thing.
They have their ball.
And I don't know about Montgomery, but I know every other southern city of any size has a tour of homes for these type of places at Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so, like, literally, they probably have a week
to get all the shit done,
to get everything straight and get the house decorated. Heck, that might have been part of what this group was doing, was putting up the decorations.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were having some work done on their home, and they went to their daughter's home, Robin's new home.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving that year, because the home was, their house wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Well, Black Friday morning, workmen show up to their house, and Brent and Charlotte's Jaguar is not in the garage.
All right.
They weren't too worried about that because they knew that they were going to be going to see the daughter.
But I can't imagine rich people need to go Black Friday shopping.
Right. But still. But the first big clue was not just that the Jaguar was gone and the alarm wasn't set.
Oh, okay.
So that's whenever they were like, oh, something's off.
So what happened?
They opened the door because they had keys. They had alarm codes.
Yeah.
They opened the door and the first room is destroyed. There's blood.
Oh, my God.
They go into the next room. There's more blood. So they call their boss. Their boss is Mr. Jerry Armstrong, who happens to be Brent's best friend.
Yeah.
He owns this company.
So
they call Jerry and they're like, bruh. And he said, get out.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything.
Back away slowly.
Out. Call the cops.
Yeah.
Jerry hops in his buggy and he books it down there.
They called the cops.
I think he beat the cops there.
Oh, well, that could happen.
Because it sounds like he's the one that had the first look at the bodies.
Okay, tell me about the bodies.
Well, I'm going to tell you on the whole scene going up.
Okay, tell me.
So you see blood, first room. You see more blood, second room. Things are turned over, broken up, messed up. Disaster. And it seems to be building the further you get into the house. As you go upstairs, it's building. There's blood all over the walls. There's blood all over. Cops in Montgomery, Alabama. And let me tell you, Alabama can be a violent state.
Yes.
Cops in Montgomery, Alabama said it was the most bloody crime scene they had ever attended.
Seasoned professionals were getting sick.
Yeah, and this was on the stand in court. They were like, I've never seen anything so bloody.
Hands down.
And then Jerry sees his best friend and his best friend's wife with their heads almost completely cut off.
What?
They had been beaten to pulps and their heads were almost completely cut off.
Practically decapitated.
Horrible.
Jesus.
So he gets out. Cops come.
I'm sure he talked to the cops since he's
there. He's the best friend.
Well, he's Brent's best friend.
And this was almost hit another favorite topic in true crime. It was almost an axe murderer because this beating happened. The killer took the head off the axe, went upstairs to the one window that didn't have a sensor on it of the house.
Yeah.
Broke in and lied in wait for them to come inside.
Oh my gosh.
With the axe handle.
That is freaking creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was a kitchen knife he used to do
the throat.
The throat.
Wow.
Okay, so sis tells cops, my little brother did this. I know he did it. He had to.
I mean, think about it. She's got no mom and dad now, and she's got to blame her brother. She's got to implicate her brother.
She has to, though. I mean, he's...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the Jaguar turns up in Oklahoma.
Is there a bald monk behind the wheel?
So cops go and see this festering nutsack up in Boulder.
So he had made it back home.
He had made it back home. And the whole household is like, no. We had a great Thanksgiving. We've been here all week. We haven't done anything. We haven't gone anywhere. Life is perfect.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Yeah. But there's one kid who is, we just did a story about fostering somebody else's kid that went badly.
Yes.
This one kid was better than everybody else in the house.
And he was, yeah.
After all of the descriptions made it sound like he went up to the cops, like in the yard. But I think he went to them afterward, like right afterward.
Well, he's in college, so he's like old enough to go, yeah.
And so he goes to a detective and says, no, he was not here for Thanksgiving.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So within an hour, BJ is...
Devil's Taint.
Yeah, the Devil's Taint is hopping from hospital to clinic trying to get a committal.
Anything to avoid jail.
Anything to avoid jail because the cops showed up. He knows.
He knows they're on to him.
And I think they probably told him there was one piece of evidence against him because there was only one piece of evidence against him at the scene.
Okay.
There was a fingerprint of his on the hallway.
Well, was it in blood?
I have to imagine it probably was.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really just be like, well, I just visited them. Yeah,
and you're not dusting the whole hallway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. As a cop. Light switches, doorknobs. But I'm not going up and down the walls. Especially on a mansion. How many hallways are there?
Right.
I'm going to take a sip. A little more vodka.
Let's take a sip. Take a sip of that Coors Light, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking that Tito's and Sprite Zero, right?
Sugarfield this time.
Oh, that's right.
Still
Sugarfield. Yeah, that's right. Local.
Okay, so he goes to this hospital, and at the hospital, this maggot snot starts talking about how he keeps having visions that he killed his parents. And, he just keeps seeing blood and he needs to be committed.
You really did kill your parents.
Well, the cops are showing up right behind him because of the order of events. As soon as they're told that his alibi isn't holding, they went to go track him down.
Yeah.
And so they've been popping from hospital to clinic, found him. He tells them the same shit, dumbass.
Like, but he's saying he's having visions. He's not
having
saying
visions.
he did it.
He's afraid he might have done it because he's having these visions. And maybe somehow bipolar disorder caused him to enter a fugue state and not know what he was doing for 36 hours because that's how long it takes to get to Montgomery from Colorado and back.
Oh, yeah. And what is old Caroline doing at this point? Or Carolyn?
Not much. Mm-hmm. Okay. It eventually comes out that Charlotte had just found out about this wedding thing, that Brent had just been like, I am done paying these bills.
Right.
And, this constant disrespect and, a secret several year-long marriage is a huge amount of disrespect.
So do you think that, well, you probably know the answer to this. Did BJ find out that they were about to cut him off?
Yes, they told him because they're not doing things secret.
Okay, all right. And that's what flipped the switch.
That's probably what flipped the switch. That and you can't come to your own sister's wedding because you are such a sack of crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so, he had hopped a bus and went all the way to Alabama. I think it was something like a 22-hour bus ride.
I mean, seriously, the bus don't get there fast.
And slaughtered his parents. This is one thing that was pointed out by one of the very few other things that had ever done a story on this was, isn't it weird that the construction guys had alarm codes and keys?
But their own son
didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And so, they take him into custody.
Yeah.
We got a bloody fingerprint, what we assume is a bloody fingerprint.
Yes, we're going to assume that.
I'm going to know more about that when I do the follow-up.
You're going to do a follow-up for
I'm
this?
going to have to do a follow-up because Miss Caroline is not off the hook.
Okay. All right.
She got involved in something else.
Okay. Is that another story for another day?
It's going to be another story for another day. And there's a
Awesome.
book on this one that I'm going to read that's going to touch on her, and I'm going to go deeper.
So the next time you come back, can you do that one?
I'll try.
The follow-up?
I will.
Okay. All right.
I will if I've read
if you
that.
have enough time.
If I have enough time, if I've done enough research.
Okay.
Because my understanding is that Caroline may have dropped off the face of the planet in around 2020. So I'm going to find her.
Oh, you go, girl.
Okay.
We might turn this into one of those, hey, have you seen Caroline?
Have you? Yeah. Okay. So he slaughtered his parents. He gave confessions eventually in custody. They may not hold up so well because they arrested him from a mental facility.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically he told something about like he was seeing visions of a demon that told him to do it. But his original confession said Dad was going to take my house.
Janky ass motherfucker.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so it takes 4 years to get him sentenced.
I'm not surprised.
He started out pleading not guilty by reason of insanity.
That makes sense.
Eventually switched his plea to guilty because bipolar is not enough insane. It's not the kind of insane that keeps you from knowing what you're doing.
Still got to know right from wrong.
Yeah.
When you're bipolar.
And you know right from wrong when you're bipolar. It's just harder to control yourself. It's not that you can't.
It's the impulse control.
Yeah. Okay. And he changed his plea. His lawyer was the same one that defended one of the DC snipers.
Oh, okay.
The younger one?
Yeah.
His legal team defended this butt-tard over here.
This butt-tard. Nice.
Okay. And so he eventually pled guilty in 2008 and got sentenced to life in prison.
All right.
For some reason in Alabama, you still have to do like a shortened trial, even if everybody has agreed and it's plea at a 2-day trial.
Just like a formality.
Yeah. And so everybody agreed life in prison, guilty, all that.
No parole or possible?
No parole.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. And he lasted 5 years before he killed himself with Tylenol.
Holy mother. What was it, like a Costco-sized bottle of Tylenol?
You know, you can die of a pretty mild overdose of Tylenol. The thing that gets me is
I mean, I take 3 or 4 at a time.
Is that bad? Yes, it is.
Tylenol back on that?
Tylenol don't do that.
I don't take it very often, but when I do,
ibuprofen you can do it, not Tylenol.
Okay, good to note. Note to self.
Tylenol causes liver failure.
If you got, oh damn, and I'm drinking alcohol.
You're drinking, yeah.
Okay, fuck. All right, sorry.
You should probably not, as somebody who drinks regularly, take Tylenol at all.
I don't take it very often. When I say that, I mean like maybe once a month. But when I take it, I pop 3 or 4 of them.
2?
Okay.
But switch to ibuprofen.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Acetaminophen, Jordan said.
That is Tylenol. Are you trying to kill her, Jordan? Are you in the wheel?
He's not in the wheel. All right, so.
Okay. So he gets cremated. Nobody cares. I mean,
well, yeah, other than his poor sister, and he's already wreaked enough havoc on her life that she probably is like better off without him.
So again, the bottling company has changed hands because of a tragedy.
Please don't tell me Caroline got it.
Robin has it now.
Okay, I was thinking because Caroline's legally married.
There was a fight. There was a fight.
Wow.
But we're going to get into Carolyn some more because it looks like he never slept with her.
So the marriage wasn't ever consummated. Dun,
because
dun, dun.
It would interrupt his spiritual journey, according to Carolyn.
Okay. Well, she's done for admitting that.
And 2005, so we're talking months after this murder, somebody else moves onto a piece of property with her. A few years later, he dies under suspicious circumstances and she gets rich.
I can't wait to hear the follow-up.
So already we can see that Carolyn's a sack of shit. But
for those of you who can't hear Jordan, he said Tylenol.
Okay, now for my sources, I found like my best podcast listen on this. There's only been 2 podcasts, 1 episode of Oxygen, and I couldn't even find the whole on Oxygen. I couldn't even find the whole episode.
Thing. Wow.
And 1 YouTube moment that wasn't either of these things.
Okay.
It was just a guy standing out in front of the house.
That's amazing that we're going to kind of be like paving the way here. Thank you for bringing this story.
Okay. And so the podcast that really had a lot of straight line information was True Crime Cases with Lainey. And it's a 3-year-old episode. It was back from 27/20, the Springford family murders. I got a lot from the Boulder Weekly from a series of articles by Caitlin Rocket.
All right.
And most of those articles were kind of highlighting this book that I'm going to read before I come back and finish this case up.
Perfect.
I've got it on order. And it's Drifting into Darkness, Murder, Madness, Suicide, and Death Under Suspicious Circumstances by
That's a
Mark
long
Pinsky.
title.
I know. I ended up copying and pasting it because I started to type it and I was like, screw that.
I might miss something if I type it. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Did we take care of all our business?
We did, but I'm going to tell you a few funny Indiana. Also, I want to show y'all this. Hi to Gloria, who sent this to me. I'm so bad at... Look how blurry that is. Anyway, it's a tiny little bag of minty dicks. And it says, suck a bag of minty dicks. And it's... Thank you, Gloria. So cute.
I'm hoping
Gloria. I'm hoping will come on the podcast soon. Okay, here we go. Indiana.
All right.
They have a bunch, so we're just going to do a few to kind of lighten the mood a little bit before we go watch LSU.
Yeah, my friend from Indiana says we have corn and corn.
That's Iowa, too. That's all they have in Iowa. Okay. Spiteful gossip and talking behind a person's back are illegal.
It'll get you punched down here, but I don't think it's illegal.
All males 18 to 50 years old must work 6 days a year on public roads.
That is a way to stop the taxpayers' dollars from being in there.
So back in 1924, this is the first one I've encountered on this list that actually had a date.
Okay.
A monkey was convicted of the crime of smoking a cigarette and sentenced to pay a $25 fine and court costs.
Oh my gosh. Did you live down here when we had the cigarette smoking monkey at
Funfair Park?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Okay. Now, the next law in South Bend, it is illegal to make a monkey smoke a cigarette.
Is it because of us?
Bathing is prohibited during the winter. That's gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Beech Grove, Indiana. It is forbidden to eat watermelon in the park. Seems
That's
like
rude.
Seems
That's like the ideal place to eat
I was going to
watermelon.
say, it seems like maybe they just had random watermelon vines sprouting up in the park, and they were
maybe
like,
people were throwing their rinds down. Because normally,
maybe
some asshole doing something stupid is why we get a stupid law.
Thank you again so much for the story. It was amazing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jordan, thank you for camera switching for us. He's waving. And I think I did all the business.
Oh, y'all come join me on the Facebook page.
Oh, that's right. Sherri, thank you so much. You've been posting a lot there. Y'all, she posted a great one that had a picture of a condom and some false teeth. So if you want to know what that's about, you need to go to the Grits group, Family, Friends, and Fans. There's like a few simple questions. If you listen to the podcast, you can answer. We're just trying to keep like bots out of the group.
Yeah. We don't want anybody that's going to come in and report you. We don't want anybody that's going to come in and spam you. So that's all the questions are for.
Yeah. Just go join the Facebook group so that you can talk to us and we can talk to you. And we also have a Facebook page that you can like. We're also on TikTok. and now on YouTube and
Insta.
I think we're on Instagram.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a guy doing the social media for me, and he's awesome. And I try to just not pay attention because I can't really do any of that stuff. So, all right, y'all, we love y'all so much. And please tell your mom and them to listen. And we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.